Hey, and welcome back to our E3 2016 predictions. This time we're going to do Microsoft, and joining me is...
Austin.
And I'm Andron, because I didn't introduce myself. So, Microsoft, they've got some stuff. After the recent price decrease, I guess, by like $50 on almost everything.
Yep, it's $300 now.
Yeah, it looks like we are more than likely going to see... To start off, I guess we'll talk about the possibility of two new consoles, two new Xboxes specifically.
Yep. So the big rumor right now, which once it was put a certain way to me, it seems a little more feasible. The one that's going to be at E3 likely is just a redesign of the console, like basically an Xbox One Slim, and that seems extremely likely.
It's definitely going to happen.
The original Xbox didn't get a redesign, but I mean, almost every console in recent history has. I mean, Sony does it every time.
Yep.
The Xbox 360 had a redesign, a slim version. I can definitely see that happening.
What's funny is the original Xbox didn't get a redesign, but the controllers got a new one.
The controller did,
got a
because
smaller
the original one was too big. Only Shaq could hold it.
The hand bricks, yeah.
Ben's out there just raging. Oh, I loved that controller.
That was the best one.
And then the other console is basically going to be something to compete with the PlayStation 4.5, the PS4 Neo, PlayStation Neo, whatever you want to call it, assuming that is happening for sure, which it seems pretty much all but confirmed.
Codename Scorpio, I think is what they're calling this new Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a interesting one. It doesn't really lead you to think about anything. It's like it's just a thing. It's just Scorpio, you know?
Yeah. And so that one's basically supposed to be just amped up specs from the standard Xbox One. This would be really their one shot to overtake Sony if they can make it more powerful than the PS4 Neo. One thing that I think they really have going for them, if the rumor is true, is the rumor is that it's going to make it more feasible to do VR on the system. And given Microsoft's partnership with Oculus in terms of Windows and shipping all Oculus Rifts with a Windows 10 controller, or with an Xbox One controller.
Yeah.
The rumor is that they may try to make the new Xbox One Oculus compatible, and that would be really big in terms of competing with Sony's VR play.
Right.
Just because Oculus is they're the main name in VR. PlayStation VR, I mean, it's there, but Oculus is the big player. They have the better headset. It's already out, so people already are buying headsets for it. So if people could buy it, they already have their headset. They could just instantly use it with their Xbox One. Or if people get an Xbox One, they buy the headset, they can then use it with their PC. I think PlayStation VR is going to be compatible with the PC as well. But
I've heard... I mean, there's some weird PC, Sony stuff going on. I'm not too sure.
But at the same time, if you have the Oculus, you know that your headset is going to work with a giant library of Oculus-developed games.
Correct.
So...
And I guess the other benefit of that is if they do continue on the path of, the dual releases of Xbox and PC, then, they can eventually just go, okay, you're already developing for the Xbox One, here's the Oculus, kit, go ahead and make sure it's VR ready in some way. Now, what I'm afraid of, if they are making a system strong enough for this, is they'll start asking developers to include it, kind of like for the Kinect, like, hey, put something for the Kinect in there, because then...
Oh, I could definitely see Microsoft doing that.
The core experience, I feel, gets weakened whenever people are...
When it's
developers
shoehorned
are
in.
Forced, exactly, to, hey, put some kind of VR thing in there.
Oh,
Doesn't
yeah.
matter what, just do it. And it's like, well, okay, here's a spectator mode, fuck you.
If they make a VR play, and if they... I feel like they won't do that unless they make VR a core part of the new Xbox One.
Xbox,
And I don't see them packaging
There's no
that
way.
with it. I think the compatibility is going
Yeah.
to be a big part of it, and they'll sell it separately.
The price point more than likely, because that's going to be
That would
$1,000
make it
unit,
a $1,000
right?
machine.
Period, no matter what. Yeah.
They just can't afford to do that right now. I think the benefit there would be you get the Oculus experience, but you get the guaranteed, I don't have to worry about my computer is ready for this, or I
Right.
don't have to worry about building a PC. I'm afraid of PC gaming, just for the console crowd. That could
Actually,
give Microsoft
yeah.
the shot in the arm that they need to compete with Sony in the market
that's a good
right
point. Yeah, because I mean, it's really expensive. It's about, I would say, to get a good enough PC to run it is about $1,000. So if you're getting an Xbox One, and we did dismiss it almost off the bat, but honestly, they could offer a kit with a guaranteed Oculus Rift. You can actually get one, and then the Xbox One with it, and then you would actually guarantee getting both of those.
Oh, they could do a
and
kit.
just play it on.
I know for sure that they're
Yeah.
not going to.
They're not going to make that
it
the only
a mandatory
way.
like the
Right.
Kinect was.
No, I completely agree with that, because that would be a mistake.
Yeah.
But then we have to think about, they also have that HoloLens, right? Or wherever
They
that's
have the
called.
HoloLens.
Is that actually coming to systems, you think? Or is that
So,
just kind of PC at the moment?
It's kind of its own device. It runs on Windows 10, like a version of Windows 10.
Right.
But it seems to be an autonomous device that just runs on its own. I don't see that tying in with the Xbox or the PC. I'm not even sure that that's going to be ready for quite a while.
Yeah.
That seemed to be what they were more interested in than VR. But at the same time,
They have to stay.
I think they realize that VR is a lot bigger than they were anticipating.
Yeah.
And thus their partnership with
catching on.
Oculus and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, the HoloLens, is that the same thing as when they showed, it was either at E3 or some conference, they show like the guy sitting at his desk, and then like he was sitting at like the couch, he's playing Xbox, like the whole room started lighting up and fucking lights were going off and shit. Or was that something
was different. That was, I want to say that was called like Microsoft Room or something
and
like
they
that.
cut that, right? Like that's done, or are they still
That's
doing
done.
that? Okay,
That was really
a
just
weird
something that
idea.
they were just showing of like,
say we
hey,
could
this
do
is something
this.
that we're trying out.
It was a test,
And
yeah.
that was actually being rumored for the Xbox One, but at the same time, it used, I want to say, 4 projectors.
It did. It used a lot of stuff.
And you had to have kind of a room kind of ready for it, and it would have just cost way too much
It
money.
didn't make
It's a
much
really
sense
cool
either.
idea.
Yeah.
It's just, and I think that when that died, that kind of moved into the HoloLens, just because
Yeah.
it was like, okay, well, we can't do this because
Yeah.
4 projectors, that doesn't make sense, and the cost
Right.
and all that. And then somebody said, well, what if we remove that from the equation and make it so that instead of projecting it from a projector,
Project it
you're
from
just
there. Right.
projecting it from the user's point of view.
Right.
And then
and they do have working HoloLens stuff going, because they did like the Minecraft demonstration.
and the dev
and they did
kits
all
are
that
out in the
stuff.
wild now.
Right. So I mean, people are using this thing. It's actually working, and it's not like no one's ever been like, this is horrible, this is not working right, as far as I know.
It has some major limitations that could be
Okay.
problematic. The viewing, like it's not a screen, but basically, essentially, what is
The area.
the screen, I guess,
Yeah.
is very small. It's I can't show this. I'm trying to use my hand.
Yeah.
But it's basically a small rectangle in front of your eyes, and there's a lot of area outside of it that nothing happens, and so you'll be moving your head around,
Yeah.
and like suddenly stuff will just pop into view as your screen
As your screen hits.
passes over it. Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of interesting, but I guess, like for me, I'm never really excited about those kind of because that's considered augmented reality
Yeah.
versus virtual, correct?
Yeah.
So like, I guess for me, when I think of augmented reality, I think like the little AR cards that Nintendo did. Those were cool, but it was very obvious like it wasn't immersive. Like it doesn't immerse you. You're still very aware that you're in a room doing this stuff. Versus VR, you're like, oh, I'm bumping into everything because I have no clue
That's
where
true.
I'm at.
You're still in
Yeah.
your own environment.
So I think like the HoloLens specifically, I know they're showing off like Minecraft, and that was probably the worst game for them to show off on like a high def, like real life high def table.
It was
You know what I
because
mean?
they had just bought
Yeah.
out Mojang or Mojang or whatever you want
Yeah.
to call it. And they wanted to, hey, we've got Minecraft. We're going to
Yeah.
use it in our E3 presentation.
Right.
What's the biggest game that everyone
Right.
plays? How could they use it in here?
So do you think they're going towards HoloLens for this, or are they going to do the VR? Because I think Oculus makes more sense.
I think HoloLens
But
is
HoloLens
going
is
to still
theirs.
happen, but I think it's going to be separate from
Completely?
the PC and the Xbox. I think it's going to be its own thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how well it's going to do or what their target audience is.
Yeah.
I've seen some cool stuff come out of it, but even if they try to use it with the Xbox or the PC,
Yeah.
I don't think that will be shown off this year.
You don't think so at all?
I don't think so.
Because, I mean, again, I'm not saying like it's a horrible thing. I think it's cool, but more like for architects and people that like need to see a 3D rendering of like
for
the
like
stuff. But like
within-
for gamers, I'm not going to use that.
For producers, that could be
Yeah.
a really cool tool
Really cool,
to
yeah.
use. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the Power Glove actually gets used a lot by engineers for AutoCAD
moving
stuff,
stuff.
but
The greatest thing invented 20 years ago.
in the gaming application, I'm not sure yet.
Yeah. I think Oculus is a smarter move, and like you said, I believe that will be the aim of Scorpio. Like, I don't think they're going to be like, oh, let's add more processing to use HoloLens, you know? That'd be not an idiot move, but it would be a weird decision to say, okay, we have this kind of partnership with Oculus.
And again, the
Fuck 'em.
HoloLens has its
Yeah.
own processing
Its own thing.
stuff.
Okay, see,
yeah.
I need to learn more about it, because I think I'm thinking what they said initially, and there's been numerous upgrades, I'm sure, since then. So, that's cool.
Yeah.
But outside of that, is the Kinect going to make a return? Is that dead in the
Kinect
water?
is never coming back. It's dead. It's gone
Dead
for
in the
good.
water, yeah.
I'm sure that they'll build pieces of it into a future product,
yeah.
but the Kinect,
As it
is
is dead. That's good.
That's not coming back ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Are we? So specifically, I guess about the because honestly, the Slim, who cares? It's a baby version of the other one. No
Yeah.
big deal. But the more powerful one, do you think the specs that have been quote unquote leaked are accurate, where it's like 4 times as powerful as the current one?
I mean, rumors are flying all around.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not even sure if
We're gonna even see it.
we're gonna. I believe we're going to get
Something.
an iterative console cycle
Mm-hmm.
from both Sony and Xbox. Sony's is pretty much all but confirmed.
Yeah.
Microsoft's hasn't been, but the rumors of that from Microsoft were coming out before they were from Sony.
Yeah.
I think what Microsoft's difference is, and it's important, every time I see stuff about their system, the word upgradable is used. Mm-hmm. And I think that's very important.
Yeah.
If I were a console gamer, I don't want to buy a new console every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take what I have and I want to buy a piece for it, or just
Take it to the
I
Microsoft
have
store.
I have all the bones. I just need to fill in the guts.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to rebuy the whole thing every time. That's a waste of money for
Yeah.
me. And that's
So, I mean, on that note, because I have seen the upgradable stuff as well. How deep do you think it will go? Do you think it's going to be like graphics card swaps, or do you think it's going to be
it's
like
going to be GPU, CPU, and RAM.
RAM?
And, I
And
think
of
that's
course,
gonna be it.
probably hot swap hard drives, I'm guessing, as well by now. Like, there's no reason not to do it.
Yeah, if they went that far, then yeah, there'd be
Might
no
as well
reason
do
not
hot
to
swap.
be able to hot swap the hard drive.
Exactly,
I can't
'cause
believe that they
Haven't done
can't
it yet.
hot swap now. But you
Yeah,
know.
I mean, So, I mean, that's something that you could hot swap the 360 one, though, huh?
360,
But on the Xbox
you
One?
could. It wasn't a standard hard drive. It had
Yeah, it
its
was
own
that its
enclosure.
own thing. You just pop it off.
Both in
Right.
the original 360 and the Slim. Those were 2 different hard drives
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason. They've been playing up more that you can use external storage, so you can
So maybe
plug
they
in
don't
whatever
wanna-
drive you want. And
Yeah, they may be saving money by not putting a better hard drive in there, I guess, at the end of the day.
yeah,
Yeah. Interesting. Now, software-wise, are they going to run a current-gen game on the new one and show it in higher def? Do you think they're going to do like Halo 5 in 4K?
I'm honestly, I honestly am not sure that they're even going to show off whatever the new system is outside of the. I think they're going to show the Slim for sure.
Yeah.
If the one beyond that exists, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't mention it at all here.
Really? So they may just be like, okay, there's something else, and that'll be it. Or
I think I think it's still early for them. This idea seems to have kind of just popped into the air within the past couple of months.
Yeah, when people just started saying it.
And I think that the wheels are moving.
Yeah.
But I think it's still really early. I don't think that they have anything ready to do
let's
that
assume.
with.
Let's start dreaming. Let's assume.
Okay.
They happen to have it done just for the fuck of it. They just have it done. They're just like, we have it done. We just don't care.
What game would they show off? Would they show off a game that runs on both PS4 and Xbox One?
They definitely show
we
off.
can do 1080p.
Exactly.
It runs at 60 FPS.
We can hit it. We hit the mark. I imagine it'd be something like Quantum Break or Halo 5. They'd show the old res to start with.
You know what they might do?
Which
would be really messed up? If they took a game that they're working on now, so let's say they just don't mention the new Xbox that they're putting out at all.
Yeah.
They take new games that they're showing off at E3, but they don't show it running on Xbox One hardware. They're showing it running on the new Xbox One hardware.
And then he showed it off at the
end.
And
just saying nothing about the fact that it's running on the new hardware.
Attention. Yeah.
And then eventually they go, oh, the new Xbox One's coming out. And then that's what it looks like on the new Xbox One. But on the old one, it looks different. It looks worse, or it runs worse,
People
or something.
Would be so fucking angry.
Oh yeah, I mean they'd get a big boost from
would.
E3 to be like, how are they pulling that off on the Xbox One?
Yeah,
but at the same time, I mean, stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. Sometimes they run sometimes they run them off of the PC. They're like, this game isn't done. We're just gonna run off our PC and. Hopefully no one notices the Windows thing about them. But I mean, that
even Nintendo, when the Wii U was coming out and they were showing all the games that were coming to it from other consoles, they used gameplay footage from the PS3 and Xbox 360. Just like,
I mean, they gotta do what they gotta do. I mean, they've got to show it off. They just have to be smart about not saying this is running on a Wii U or on an Xbox One. Here's the new game.
It's running on an Xbox One technically.
So. For sure, though, game-wise, I guess, now that we're basically beating the fuck out of the hardware, we know, everyone knows about it. Game-wise, Gears of War 4.
Gears 4 is definitely going to get shown off. Halo Wars 2 will probably be shown off.
The hell else does Microsoft
have? They've got Forza.
First party, because we know Forza, of course, is going to be there. We know... Maybe something from Rare. I mean,
Rare has Sea of Thieves coming out.
Right, Sea of Thieves, yeah.
They briefly showed that off last year. They'll probably show something new off from that this year.
How big is Rare Studio? Do they have like 2 halves or do they have just one? Because if they have 2 halves, it's about time they do, like a Banjo or
Rare
Conker.
Is a mystery to me at any given time. But
yeah. Because, I mean, they released a Rare Replay. And that's basically a primer, and also they do take analytics whenever they watch, like, how many people played this one all the way through. So if people played Banjo 1 and 2 on there, they were on that one, right? Banjo 1 and 2?
Yeah.
If they watched how many people did that, they're going to go, okay, we probably should do Banjo 3. I guess it's okay for us to finally do it. And I mean, people want it. They know they want it.
They know people want
There's
it,
no reason
especially
not to do
with ukulele coming out.
Very soon,
Ahead in time. Like that, there's just been a lot of nostalgia for that genre lately, and Rare Replay really played on that.
Yeah,
but
and as much as people want to say like, "Oh, it's a love letter," it was really a test for Microsoft to say who wants.
That was a test for a lot of things because that was the backwards compatibility before it got fully implemented. That was the first part of that backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a testing ground for a lot of stuff.
Big test.
Yeah,
it was a very big test.
That was a tie-in with Battletoads coming to the Killer Instinct.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of Battletoads. I mean, that almost feels like there's going to be some kind of either side-scrolling game or something.
Phil Spencer was wearing a Battletoads shirt, and he was kind of hinting at it for a while, and then all of a sudden, like, Rare Replay happened, and then they were like, all right, this guy's coming to
Killer Instinct. He was also
I think that was the payoff.
I don't think that's the end. Like he was in Killer Instinct. He was in what's that game? Shovel Knight. He was in there for the Xbox, I mean, there's a lot of
that's
yeah.
true.
There's a lot of like, why are we using Battletoads so much? So there's no reason. If that's all they were doing it for, there's like, okay, now we're gonna just whore them out. You know, it's kind of a weird way to do it, but I guess like a classic kind of throwback Battletoads game. It was in the Rare Replay. They do like a really nice graphics, you know, whatever. I know Austin's making a face because he does that game, but I can definitely see like Rare, like their little like part of their studio just goes off, makes a Battletoads game.
So
comes back.
they could make a new Battletoads game. If you look at all the old Battletoads games and what makes them Battletoads games, pretty much the core of Battletoads pisses every gamer off today.
Exactly.
And so I would be interested to see how they could bring it into the modern age and still make it like Battletoads.
I mean, they can always take.
They could take the theme, they can take the IP and make a different style game out of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that might work, but at the same time, it's not really Battletoads.
Well, it's kind of like, you know, I didn't play on any of the earlier difficulties of Doom, but I guarantee, like, some of the beginning ones may have been a little easier than the one, like, I don't even remember the one I picked. It was like Hell Incarnate or some crap like that. So I picked one of the later difficulties, and I'm having fun. It's not super hard. I wish I picked Nightmare.
Right, but that game is hard in a good way.
Yeah.
Whereas Battletoads in a lot of ways is just bullshit.
Just bullshit.
Like, and I mean, of all it's got co-op, which is great, except the co-op in the game makes it harder.
Yeah.
That is an extremely hard game in co-op.
Well, I guess the way you get around it now is you just add in, like, either you do the Nintendo route where they go, here's a golden Tanuki because you suck, or, you know, and I mean, that's what that was. It was like, hey, you're not too good at this level.
Oh, that's exactly what it was. They actually
and they need to do that, or they do the other one where they're like, okay, here's some modifiers you can do. So if you want, like, baby mode on, you know, you want to turn off team damage, you know, you want to turn this stuff off, and then give me the option to turn all that shit back on ×3 so I can punch the shit out.
I think they actually put options in for that.
The Rare Replay?
Rare Replay.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
So I think that's the way they would do it now, because baby it down just piss people off. Making it too hard would piss people off.
Oh man, I don't see a new Battletoads going well. I could see them doing it. I don't see it going well.
I think I'm going to call it right now. Battletoads E3. Here it comes.
Let's do a Jet Force Gemini 2 or something. How about that?
They're not letting Rare make good games, man. What are you talking about? I mean, Sea of Thieves may be good. That's bad of me to say, but I feel like part of their team's
an interesting
working on
idea.
More stuff. Yeah.
And I mean, if they're... I'm glad they did Rare Replay.
Yeah.
They are acknowledging that
people like it.
Don't care about... Like, there's been a lot of stuff lately of just them kind of trying to remind people that they're still Rare. They came out and publicly said, look, Microsoft didn't make us do Kinect games. We wanted to do that because that looked interesting to us. That looked fun to us. And I can buy that.
They also said they made nuts and bolts on their own volition. I was surprised
by
that.
They did. A lot of the core Rare team who made those older games left before the buyout from Microsoft. So a lot of them aren't there anymore, and so there were a lot of new ideas coming into the company. It was kind of changing, and people were still expecting their old stuff, and they still had their IPs and that they could leverage. It's just they didn't have the people from before who could take some zany, weird idea and make it an excellent, incredible fucking game. So now they're kind of realizing, okay, people don't want our Kinect stuff. I mean, Kinect is dead. We don't have that option anyways anymore. Let's see if people still are as nostalgic as we think they are. They put out Rare Replay. It was a gigantic hit. That's probably one of the best-selling Xbox One games that I know of.
Kind of ridiculous, yeah.
And so I'm hoping that they're going back to their roots. I don't even care about them going back to their old IPs. Just hopefully Sea of Thieves is just something fun and zany and really crazy.
Yeah, and I think they're going to show it off. They have to show it off with this one. Otherwise, they wasted their time. Because they showed it off last E3 to like trailer. This time they have to show gameplay. Then it should come out next year, probably. But yeah, I guess besides like Gears of War 4, Forza, Sea of Thieves,
Halo Wars 2.
Probably Battletoads.
ReCore is probably going to be shown off.
ReCore, yeah. And that has the guy from Metroid Prime? Was that correct?
It was the creator...
It was some weird
somebody involved in Metroid Prime.
Which is the guy? This Retro Studios, or is this like another?
This isn't Retro Studios. It's somebody who was involved on.
Well, I
the
mean,
staff,
was he
up.
from Retro Studios, or was he from like the Japanese?
He was probably from Retro Studios.
Okay,
yeah,
that's cool.
I think Keiji Inafune is also.
He is involved? Which is weird.
Yeah,
because yeah, that's weird. Because Mighty Number 9's coming out.
Yeah, he's
really
always working
soon.
on multiple projects. He usually just does the design, or he kind of guides people.
Like, hey, this game sucks, and walks out.
Yeah, basically.
I'm going back to my own game.
I know he's also working on Red Ash and other stuff.
Is that actually doing
the
stuff?
Kickstarter failed, but he found private
He's
funding
just like,
for
I'm
it.
doing it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, so I guess Recore.
We'll probably see some more out of the early access on Xbox stuff.
Right, because they're starting to do that now.
Because DayZ was supposed to come out on there. I don't think that's come out.
They're
yet.
also getting better into mods because of
Fallout 4 mods
Bethesda
came out.
kind of did that. So
apparently, that's been a giant hit.
Dude, mods are smart. Like mods are fun. They help breathe new life into the game. That's why PC.
I wasn't sure how it was going to do on consoles, just because it's
yeah.
something that console gamers aren't used to having. But
now they're like, yeah, can they mod and upload it off the Xbox or no?
I don't think so. I think the mods have to be made on PC and then they
put into the Bethesda.
Like the best ones are kind of put through there. Yeah,
yeah, and then they can play with them.
I haven't looked deep into it. But
no, they don't get like the graphical like upgrades or anything, but they do get.
They might get some graphical changes.
Yeah,
there's probably some that the Xbox One just can't
probably
handle,
like a resolution
and those
lock.
probably get filtered out.
Yeah, but that's a good call. Besides that, I can't think of anything else I want to make return. Maybe I don't know, who's that guy? Buzz the Cat?
Blinks the cat. Or maybe Grabbed by the Ghoulies too.
Or what was that game, like the party game? And I forgot the name of that one. It was like something Blitz or something like that. Fusion Frenzy. Fusion Frenzy.
Oh man, that hasn't been around.
Because
for
that
a
could be
long
a
time.
good like arcade.
They did a sequel and apparently it was awful.
Oh, it was bad.
Just
I played it.
Horrible.
I played it. It was bad. I mean, the idea is basically just Mario Party, but I don't know what happened in 2. I don't even remember playing it that much. I know I played it and I was like, this is bad. But 1 was fun because you just were a bunch of people in like a gladiatorial, let me try to beat you kind of thing. It was kind of fun.
I think Halo 5 could be announced for PC just because. Yeah. So, if you haven't been keeping up, Halo 5 Forge is coming to PC. And so you can make maps and then export them, and then they're playable on Xbox One, which, whatever. But what's intriguing is you can actually test your maps on the PC, so you can go in and play on your own maps. You can't do matchmaking, you can't do the campaign, but you can go into any maps that you create yourself, you can bring your friends into the maps, and you can play Halo. So, they've done all the heavy lifting, they've gotten the engine working on PC. All the core gameplay works. All they would have to do is make sure that the campaign works properly and get matchmaking up and running, and that's all they would have to do. And I don't think Halo 5 did what they wanted it to do on Xbox. I don't think that they got it near the sales that they were hoping for.
No, definitely not.
And if they had a competitive Halo game on PC, which people have been begging for years. I think that would be really big. I think that's something. I mean, it wouldn't take them much more work if they could do that, or Master Chief Collection on PC. Golly, I think they'd have fire on their hands.
Yeah, they'd actually start making quite a bit of money off of Halo again. Because Halo 4 I think did okay, right? But not as good as 3 or Reach.
Halo 4 did well.
Yeah.
I don't know what the numbers were.
Yeah,
but
I don't know the numbers anymore, but I know
well.
3 did like ridiculous, 2 did ridiculous.
Yeah. And
Reach,
I'm pretty sure Reach did really well
pretty
as well.
And then 4, I don't remember them announcing numbers. And then 5, I know for sure they didn't go, hey, this is how many we sold.
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks later, like they usually, pull out their dick and like, hey, this is what we did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think them finally embracing that they're a PC company. Like Microsoft is a hardware PC, like they make PC stuff, they make Windows. Yeah. Why not embrace that side of them and make themselves unique?
And at this point, they're committing themselves to PC a lot more.
Yeah.
I think I don't remember where I heard it, but if it was a rumor, if it was something direct from them, but it sounded like all of their future releases are going out that come out on Xbox are also going to be on PC. For a while, they were talking about how, oh, well, if it makes sense for one, it may not make sense for the other. If it's on a console, it can be on a PC. It can be on PC. Everyone on PC can use a controller. We have standardized controllers now. Or you can use a keyboard and mouse, and that works for really just about anything. Even games that... Like Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, that will not work without a controller. And people love that game. You have to just let people know ahead of time, like, hey, the keyboard controls are ass, so we got rid of them entirely. Dark Souls tried to do keyboard controls, and they're terrible, so people complained about it, but at the same time, people have gotten over it, and Dark Souls is huge on PC. There are some games on PC that wouldn't work very well on consoles, like RTS games probably wouldn't work very well on there unless you make it specifically around a controller like Halo Wars. You don't have to make them play together. I know FPSs, if somebody's using a keyboard and mouse versus a controller, they're going to be a lot faster, but you can just split up the matchmaking. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that they can optimize it, and they need to do it at this point because there's no way they're gonna. They've sold about, I can't remember the number right now, but they've sold about like 20 million, maybe. I don't even know. I don't even think that's true. I think they've been like 15 million. I don't know. They've sold a lot of Xbox Ones, but not nearly as much as they want to. Like right now,
Sony is vastly outperforming.
Sony's already had 40 million units sold since their launch like a few years back. So I mean, they're obviously the clear leader right now. With the launch of an iterative console, that may actually end up hurting them more, so they have to look into, okay, where can we get money from now? And that's PC. That's
PC,
the answer.
And
because I'll buy
I want them to do
PC.
Well on PC.
Right.
So far, what they've gotten, Rise of the Tomb Raider, which the Windows Store version of the game was vastly inferior to the Steam version. There's just a lot of problems with it. They've done Gears of War Ultimate, which also had problems. A lot of those have been fixed, but people honestly just don't like the Universal Windows platform. And then Quantum Break, bunch of problems. And I feel like that one was just kind of like, oh, by the way, put this on PC and just make it happen. And we're just given a couple of months to do that.
Correct. Yeah.
Halo 5 wasn't on there because that was already in development before they kind of did their commitment to PC, and they at that point were giving studios the option of do what you want. Do you think this would be good for PC? Do you want to do it for PC? Just go do what you want to do. And the Halo 5 team was like, no, we're not going to do that. And now they're trying to ease their way in. Either they need to improve the Universal Windows platform, or they need to understand that Steam is a big part of PC gaming.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. Like, Killer Instinct is awesome on PC.
I forgot about that one.
From what I've played, like it runs so well. Like it requires you to have a certain frame rate before you can even go online. It's like, hey,
oh wow,
you're gonna get fucked if you go online with this frame rate. So it'll block you from doing ranked matches.
Wow.
But if your PC can run the game full specs, whatever specs you have it on, at like 60 frames, I got like a 150 out of 100 score, so now I can for sure do it. Like that's a smart way to make sure people can go in and not get screwed on PC. Plus, it's better. It's 1080p, first off.
So, obviously it's got better graphics and all that.
And it actually just, like, it feels right. Because, like, every punch I punch throws it out just like it was on Xbox, but it's on PC. And that's how you should make their ports,
So, that's a good point to bring up, specifically because I entirely forgot that Killer Instinct was on there. It kind of came out very quietly. And unless you are hanging out on the on the Windows Store, you're not seeing stuff like that. And nobody's hanging out on the Windows Store because there's fucking nothing to buy on the Windows Store except for a few shitty apps that were made like 5 years ago. they either need to do more marketing for their PC push, or they need to start putting their games in places where they're going to be more visible if they want people to just discover them and buy them without
And the
them
way
having
they
to
do that
marketing.
is opening it up, putting them on Steam, and saying, hey, come on my games, guys.
Because even if you just... Let's, EA keeps their games on Origin, Ubisoft keeps their games on Uplay. They still will let you buy it through Steam, but you have to play it through Uplay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a halfway. I get Microsoft wanting to have their own store. I don't like having separate stores. I like just having all my games in Steam, but I get having your own store. The biggest problem is anything that comes out on that store has to be made on UWP, which is just there's no executable. Modding's a problem. You can't take it and say, okay, I'm going to run this as a non-Steam game in Steam. Just lots of problems. And until they address those, I don't know. The problem of not having anything to get on the Windows Store, I guess that will be fixed by having them release more games over time. And eventually it'll be its own ecosystem. Right now, it's just a problem, and I'm hoping that they don't just look at the games that are coming out now and say, well, people want PC games, but nobody's buying our games, so obviously people don't want... Our games don't belong on PC.
It matters where they put it as well.
It matters where you put it and how you put it on there.
No matter what for PC. You get on Steam, your game's going to sell something.
Yeah, and as soon as you get on the store page, you see something there, or it just every day it changes what games are shown.
Exactly.
And you'll find a lot of games in there that you just never would have heard of otherwise.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Yep.
Well, I guess with all that, what we're looking at is what, Gears 4?
Gears 4,
maybe Halo Wars 2. For sure, Halo Wars 2. You're thinking, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Halo Wars 2. We've got, what were the others again?
Possibly a new Forza.
New Forza. Well, yeah, probably.
Sea of Thieves.
Hopeful Battletoads game, even though we'll see.
Recore.
And I guess maybe Halo 5 for PC, right?
Possibly.
Yeah, and then maybe a Fusion Frenzy sequel. Yeah, it's coming. And, of course, on top of all that, we have 2 consoles more than likely being announced here. One for sure, the Slim. If they don't do the Slim, it's going to be very surprising, so more than likely the Slim. And then second, maybe they'll do the bigger one, codenamed Scorpio, but like Austin said, we may not see that for a little bit later this year when they do probably their own private conference or something like that. Or maybe Gamescom. They like Gamescom. Yeah. So, all right, well, that's it for Microsoft, and tune in next time for when we talk about another company, E3. Yes.
See ya.
See ya.